Hello and welcome to the Rebel Ballerina Show. And I am the Rebel Ballerina, your host, Lisa Loree. So I hope you're having a wonderful day and just really able to enjoy something in life, if not all of life itself, which is a really fun thing to be able to do, to be able to enjoy life and living and be excited about it. And one of those things that I really enjoy is meeting people and just having conversations with folks, it's very fun. And then this morning, I was just working with one of my friends who takes my bar class, Truly Bar. And over the years, we've seen some really nice transformations in her body. And it was funny because at one point, when she first started with me, her feet were so very flat that when we're doing a hip flexor stretch, she couldn't lay her foot on the floor. So it was really uncomfortable for her to attempt to do this stretch. And it wasn't very effective because you can't really get into your hip flexors as well in that state. So, anyway, working with her, and it wasn't too long that her feet start to transform because of the work that we do in my bar class. And it's all very ballet based. Go figure. So I figure if you're going to use the word bar, Barre, then it should be ballet based. So that's just a word of caution too, by the way, for if you're interested in taking a bar class, just be aware that they may not know ballet. So be very aware because that can lead to injury if you're not taught correctly how to do this stuff, or even a modified version. Anyway, so I don't remember how long it took, but suddenly she was like, hey, I can lay my foot on the floor and do this stretch now because of the work that we've been doing. And so today, and she's been with me for years, I think 7 actually. And she was just commenting again, like, wow, remember when I couldn't lay my foot on the floor to do this stretch? And it was really funny. And I said, yeah, that's actually what we would call normal, being able to do that. And it just got me thinking, the word normal. What the heck is normal? Because you know what? Normal causes a lot of problems when you think about it. I wanted to be normal when I was a kid, and don't we all? We want to be normal. We want to fit in. We want to be accepted. And so you have to get into a certain box or fit a certain criteria and all of that kind of stuff. And that just really feeds the fawn in those of us who are fawns. It feeds our desire to do whatever it takes to fit in and to be considered normal. Otherwise, you feel like an outcast. And goodness knows, I was not normal. Okay, I was a stick figure and very heavily teased and taunted for it. So I was very much outside the realm of norm, which made me want to be more normal even more. And it was really tough. There was a lot of bad stuff that came out of that. And it's one of those things where I didn't learn until really 10 years ago to say, I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm just going to be me. It can take a long time, 50 years for me, to finally get to that point where I can actually like me as I am and moving forward. It's not like, oh, I've arrived. I like me as I am. So here I am and that's it. Don't get me wrong. There's always room for more. There's always more of life to do and to level up in being and in doing. So that I don't want you to get, I'm floating. I don't want you to get the wrong impression that it's like a one and done. No, it's a continuum still. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, but it's a lot more fun now because I've made some seriously better choices in how I think and how I operate and how I be. It's all about the being. But along with that, it just it really made me think, well, what's normal anyway? Why are we so caught up with being normal? And I was like, no, I don't have a beard, thankfully. Um, when you look at the statistics today, 88% of the entire American population is somewhere on this realm of either metabolic syndrome, which is not good, prediabetes, or full on diabetes. And even if you are just in the metabolic syndrome area, which is kind of pre-diabetes, you're in trouble. Just flat out, you're in trouble. You need to start working on that like right now to help stave off the things that come as you move farther into pre and then fully diabetes. So 88% of the population, that's startling, right? That's startling. The sad thing is that's normal. Statistically speaking, that's normal. But is it good? And that's what made me really go, who the hell determines what normal is? I mean, we have numbers that do that. But is it good? Is it good to be normal? And you know what? Most of the time, no, it's not. It's like, it's dumb. It's counterproductive to be normal. And it's really sad because so many people are suffering and don't even realize, like, I had no idea that I was on that in that category and still am. I'm still dealing with it because I've spent a lifetime of eating literal crap. Hostess, bags of chips, Mountain Dew, all plethora, definitely Taco Bell, all kinds of fast food. That's all I ate for decades. One reason was because my mom finally gave up, said, please just eat something. Because I'm so picky. I have a TISM taste buds, is what I call it. I've got the TISM taste buds. And you might be familiar in one way, shape, or form, but I'll use my kids as an example. Both of them, TISM, right? Here's what they would eat: mac and cheese pizza, or chicken nuggets. Oh, and sushi. There's a combo, right? I'm like, sushi? Are you kidding? Texture? You know? No, I love sushi. Always have. I thought that was the funniest thing. Mac and cheese pizza, chicken nuggets, and oh, sushi. And I was able to get them to eat broccoli, thankfully. So at least I had something. But when they were really little, that's all they would eat. And I remember having to negotiate with my son because he would start to have a meltdown if he couldn't have mac and cheese. And so I negotiated with him at dinner time. Okay, this is what we're going to have. This is what I'm cooking for our dinner. And here's the deal. If you eat just like a portion like this, just a spoon size full, right? Just one bit of a full type of serving, just to get the full taste of it. If you'll eat that and you like it, then obviously you can have more. If you don't like it, then I will fix you some mac and cheese. And it worked. He agreed, and we had this really great situation where he didn't have to melt down because he didn't think he was going to starve, because that's what happens in the autistic mind. It's like you panic because, oh my God, I'm going to be so hungry, I'm going to starve, and then you have a meltdown instead of being able to just relax and be like other people I know that will eat anything. My boyfriend and producer are sitting right here. That's who I was looking at. And sometimes I wish I had that skill, I tell you. The TISM taste buds can be a royal pain in the ass sometimes. So I knew how difficult this situation was from my son's perspective because of the torture that I put my mom through. So with my son, it worked out so well that he had to try at least something. Very often I was making mac and cheese. Sometimes though, he was like, "Oh, this is actually good. I like it." So he ate a lot of that and eventually expanded his palate, and that was really cool. And then there were some times as he got a little bit older, it was really sweet. He would say, "Mom, I know you worked really hard on this, but I just don't like it." Which I thought, okay, that's really nice, to at least go, instead of, "I like it." He was very kind about it and explaining that why he wanted mac and cheese. And then we got to a point where it's like, okay, the deal's going to change just a smidge. If you don't like it, then you make your mac and cheese. I'm done. But it was a great scenario. It worked, and it kept that meltdown at bay. Now, thinking of myself and how I didn't even know that I'm on the spectrum until my son's diagnosis, because then I realized, oh my God, that child is just like me. Wait a minute. Oh, that means that I'm on the spectrum too. Oh, it was so funny going through the behavior checklist. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, of course he doesn't like, I don't like tags. I don't like my food touching each other. I don't like that. And it was like, oh, wait a second. This is supposed to be about him. Oh, wow. Enlightening. Very enlightening. And then the first thing that crossed my mind after I was so stunned and startled and amazed, I was like, oh, my poor mom. Oh my gosh. Because we had no knowledge of high functioning autism when I was growing up. There was a kid at my school who was very autistic, like full on nonverbal, tantrumy, flappy, bang his head against the wall, screeching, meltdowns, the whole thing. And I wasn't like that. I was, my mom called me a jabberwacky because I was very talkative. So here I am talking again. But I was very hyper, definitely ADHD. Didn't know about that stuff either. The nice little tinge of OCD. Everything has to be just so. So all I could say was my poor mom. But here's how it went down in my house when I was growing up. Instead of making me mac and cheese, I just sat at the table for hours because she would say, "You're not leaving the table till you eat your dinner." Now, in all fairness, how do I say this nicely? Because I absolutely adore my mom. She was such a spectacular and wonderful person, but cooking wasn't really her thing. And she was of the era of, serving cow tongue. I did vow that I would never serve my children cow tongue, and I have not. But I don't think it was even that I was thinking brought this memory, but maybe that was on the plate. But I would literally just sit at the table for 2 hours, and I would just swivel back and forth because we had swivel chairs, and I'd tell myself some kind of story, imagine stuff, just sit there for a couple of hours, not doing anything else because I was not going to eat anything that was on that plate. For me, I had kind of this magical thing happen where if I saw something that was so unappetizing, it just shut off my hunger at all. So then I wasn't even hungry. So I'm like, okay. But you could take that same moment, put a whole large pizza in front of me, and I would devour it. So it really just depended on what was there. But I didn't have the that arrangement with my mom to have something else. So I just went to bed without eating. And because I was so skinny, she actually did at some point get accused of malnourishing me, which is absurd because she did offer me food. And most of the time I did like it, but I was so thin. And it got to the point though that she was like, you know what? And she'd come pick me up from school. We're on our way to the studio. Eat something. You've got to have, because I would consume inordinate amounts of food. And when I was talking about the whole large pizza, that's when I was 68 pounds. And I have verification for this. So we just recently went to, Jim and I just recently went to my class reunion last year. That was super fun. Or was that 2 years ago? Whenever it was super fun. And so he got to meet some of these folks that I've known for a super long time. And some of them actually I've known since the age of 3 or 4 because we started taking ballet together. And then we ended up going to high school together later on as well. And so we met initially the first night, just the casual meeting at this place called Me and Ed's Pizza. Well, Me and Ed's was down the street from my studio. This was a different one, but the one I grew up in, literally, was just down the street from my dance studio. And I started eating a whole large pizza when I was 13, and I weighed 68 pounds. And my family would share a pizza like normal. But that wasn't enough for me. I had to have my own whole pizza. And so when we were there, some of my friends were like, oh yeah, because I think Jim mentioned something like, did she really eat a whole large pizza? Like, am I, like wanting to verify? Because that sounds like an exaggeration. And I don't blame him. That does sound like an exaggeration, but nope, it was true. And they they all verified and laughed about it. And oh my gosh, it was so funny. So the fact is, the food that I liked, like most of us, is filled with sugar and a lot of crap. And today's junk food is even worse than the junk food that I had because the seed oils and that sort of thing, it's just gotten even worse. I tell you all of this because you're like, gosh, why do we need to know all of this? Because I literally lived on junk food for a very, very long time. And because I was dancing so heavily throughout a lot of that, I didn't have to worry about it. So it didn't even cross my mind that I should be concerned because I wasn't getting fat. So, but I wasn't healthy. That's the problem. Just because I wasn't gaining weight didn't mean that I was out of the woods. I was putting myself in very great risk. And thankfully, now I've learned some really important stuff that I'm now doing things differently. I'm not eating junk food. I am doing more of what we call a comfy keto, where particularly for me, Jim has to be a little bit more stringent with it because of his neuropathy and the stuff that he's dealing with, which is what brought all of this to our attention. Thankfully, actually, because it's something that he's been able to work with and reduce and get better and heal, which is a lot, and in a way that was a lot better than, say, cancer, for instance, because that happens from insulin resistance too, diabetes. So, but we were very much on that path, and I had no idea at all. He didn't have an idea. He thought he was eating healthy because we were doing what we were told to do, what was recommended by the old pyramid, which, quite frankly, that old food pyramid that was government sanctioned, that is the pyramid scheme of all, because it set us into motion to becoming an incredibly unhealthy um, very sick group of people, society, and it's costing us. It's costing us dearly now because it took a while. It's not like, oh, you eat a whole bunch of sugar and then next week you're going to see the ramifications of that. It takes a long time. But that also means it takes a long time to reverse it because now we're all addicted to it. So you have to work through that. And then you have to start backing up all of this stuff. And if you look into different things about diabetes and the keto diet and stuff, you'll understand what I'm saying. And I am including a whole chapter in my book about this because it's so striking and it's so kind of unnerving because we were all told to eat this certain way because that's normal, right? But normal's not good. And all it did was feed obesity and chronic diseases. Is that good? Is that good to be normal? Well, I'm eating what everyone else is eating because that's normal. Okay, and it's killing you. So let's discuss what is good instead of what's normal. Right? We gotta really start to think about how we judge things and perceive things. If something's normal, we want to be normal. So we just jump to that. Well, I want to just be normal. Well, that's nice, but when normal is costing you your life and putting you on a slow suicide path, is that a good thing? It's not, obviously. So my whole thing now, I want to start thinking of things more as, is this good? Okay, it might have high numbers, so we would call it normal, but is it good? And Jim and I are actually big fans of Benjamin Franklin. Love Ben Franklin. He had some really cool philosophies. One of the words he used all the time was useful. Is this useful? Okay. Is it useful to be normal if that's putting me in this high risk category of diabetes and chronic illness? I don't think so. I don't think that's useful. Well, not for me and not for you, but big pharma, it's useful. Big insurance, it's useful because they are making bank on normal. They are making bank. And as a rebel fawn, I just have to start getting really pissed off and saying, that's fucked up. And we shouldn't tolerate that. We shouldn't say, okay, I'll follow that protocol because that's normal, because that's what I've been told to do. It is such damn time that we stop just doing what we're told to do because we're fawns and we want to fit in and we want to appease and all of that. It's killing us in so many different ways. This is just one way. And it's ridiculous. It's time to wake up. And that's why I'm like, oh, we got to be rebels. We got to stand up for ourselves and start pushing back against all of this crap that we've been fed for decades. So many lies, the gaslighting and all of this. And when you've personally had to deal with narcissists in your life and you wake up out of that, and you know what I'm talking about. On a personal level, you just have to say, fuck no, not doing it anymore. Not doing it. Standing my ground. And then we have to be able to take that out at large and start saying no. And I am so grateful that RFK flipped that freaking pyramid and made it what it's supposed to be, because that's what's good. Eating very little carbs is actually what your body requires. And there's a lot of stuff out there that we have learned and followed many doctors on this. So it's not like we're just grasping at straws. We have a lot of really good people that we're following that's giving us this information. We're using the strategies that they're talking about. And quite frankly, a lot of them have been maligned by big medicine, big pharma, which makes me go, huh, then yep, that's who I want to follow. Because they're not buying the lie. So I'm much more apt to listen to what they have to say than, the regular doctor who just wants to write you a prescription or tell you that you're just fine, you're okay for now, but when your numbers get worse, come back and then we'll give you a prescription. What the hell is that? Not, ooh, we can stop this before we have to get on to prescription. No, they're not trained to do that. Today's doctors are not trained to keep you healthy. They're trained to write prescriptions. And they get kickbacks for it a lot of time. So that might be normal, but is it good? Is it useful? Who is it useful for? Does it help you as you're in your individual life, or is it feeding someone else in their control? Those are the questions now that I like to reframe. Normal. Is it good? Is it useful? And who is it really helping? Right? So that's my thought for the day, or those are my thoughts. Anyway, just saying, normal's not always good. If we were really going to get back to normal, that'd be a long time ago. Where things were normal. But then again, has there ever been a normal, really? So you kind of just have to do your life. What works for you, that's what you need to do. And that's it. So have a wonderful, not normal, but good day. And I'll see you again soon.